And George, tell us about as a director of admissions, the community that you serve. And the 280-bed facility is quite large by these standards, I would think. And tell us how do you reach out? Do people come to you?
We do reach out, and Del Air Nursing and Rehab is one of the largest skilled nursing facilities in the area. In fact, most of the time we have more patients than the local hospitals have. In fact, today we have over 250 patients in our nursing home. So we work very closely with the hospitals, and in particular very closely with Trinitas Hospital. I like to say that Trinitas Hospital is my hospital because I've been serving them even before I was at Del Air. We have external case managers that go out to hospitals. Trinitas Hospital, I would say, is my hospital. I deal with that hospital. It's usually by phone. We have an established system, and they're one of our biggest providers of referrals. And we also go out to several other hospitals, including hospitals in Essex County and Sussex, Somerset County. We reach out to Rahway Hospital, Newark Beth Israel.
To get into the facility, does there need to be a referral from the hospital?
Yes. If you're in the hospital and you need subacute rehab, you've had a hip replacement or you have congestive heart failure or some medical condition that's going to require more than 3 days to stabilize, the hospital will keep you in 3 or 4 days, and the doctor will let the case manager, which is usually a nurse, know that the patient is going to need subacute rehab. That nurse will identify the patient, do her assessment, and the referral goes to the social worker at the hospital, who will contact me or one of our external case managers so that we share clinical information, financial information, and once that's done, the patient is approved for admission and usually come to us.
And John, your goal is do people get to leave?
Yes, they do. Well, the subacute patients, yes, do get to leave. We get them on their road to recovery so they can get back home. But there are some of the patients who become our residents that need long-term care services. They cannot take care of themselves at home, so they rely on us to give them their what we call the ADLs, the needs that they need to get bathed and to get dressed and to get washed and take their medication. So we help them on a daily basis. So we become their home. They cannot go back to their home in the community, so we become their home and we take care of these patients on a long-term care
What's the
basis.
breakdown, John, of the number of people who really are going to be long-term there and not going to go home, and based on subacute that George was just talking about?
Well, we have 60 beds subacute or post-acute care. These are the patients that come to us, they get ready to go home. We have a 120-bed long-term care unit, and we have a 60-bed Alzheimer's dementia unit.
And that's the breakdown?
That's the breakdown of the facility.
And George, are they all full? You said 250. Where do you have room, in other words? If people said, hey, I like Del Air, I want to go, where is there room?
There is room in the subacute unit. We always have beds available there. And the goal is to get the patients, stabilize patients, and get them back out to the community so they can follow up with their physicians. And if a physician refers a patient to the hospital and doesn't come to our nursing home, we make sure that the patient goes back to that physician or the service in the community that referred them to us so that they don't lose a patient. Patients that come to us from Trinitas Hospital will be referred back to Trinitas Hospital as needed for services. We have a very good, long established relationship with them.
I want to thank the two of you for joining us on the show. I'm going to be joined in the second half, I understand, by Ms. Marjorie Cuccinello, who's a corporate nurse at the facility.
Yes, Marjorie's going to talk a little bit about the HeartSmart program, a program that's going to bridge the gap between the hospital service and the subacute service that'll stabilize these patients and stop that vicious cycle of patients coming out of the hospital into the community and back into the hospital within a couple of weeks.
Good. Please stay with us after these messages. We'll be joined by Ms. Marjorie Cuccinello, a corporate nurse at Del Air Nursing Home, to talk about the HeartSmart program.